What if I told you about an enslaved survivor getting the powers of God and going across the universe like Silver Surfer and basically destroying planets? That's essentially the plot of Genecy. So I was actually gifted this copy for a review from the nice people at Envision Comics, and I actually had to read it a couple times before I sat down. But this comic is very, 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 very good. One of the things that I like about it is just, of course, the artwork and the scope of the story. I read the back of the book, and you can tell that Gerald Cooper really has like this love for sci-fi, fantasy, and just old school comics, because reading this felt like reading an old Spawn comic. I did like a lot of things about it. It starts off with this man named Kaizax, and it starts off with this very cool escape from, it's an alien planet, and everything that could go wrong does go wrong on this mission. But what's really cool is that in him surviving, he is still the sole survivor in this, and then he ends up at this really cool thing called the Dome of Ragnarok. Ragnarok is this god from before pre-recorded history. And there's this very cool fight with one of his servants at the start of chapter 1, and it's really cool, and it really sets up kind of this rivalry that is further explored in chapter 2. He was also kind enough to share chapter 2 with me as well, was that it does expand a lot upon what happens in chapter 1. Because reading chapter 1, I will say I was a little bit confused, like text box placement, or just kind of like sometimes reading Ragnarok would be a little confusing sometimes. But a lot of those issues are addressed in chapter 2, which I really do appreciate. And then again, the scale and the scope goes wider. You can just tell he has a very genuine love for things like Star Wars or like Valerian or Star Trek. It even reminds me of reading a Jack Kirby comic from back in the day, like something like New Gods, or hands upon the rivalry between him and Ragnarok's servant, twist that they have on his story arc towards the end of the comic. And I even like how they have setups for their other future comics as well. It's just some really good books. Here at Simple but Complex, we love indie authors and we love the work that they do. And this is just a great work and a great way to start off the year. So we are very excited for Genecy Chapter 3. I think you guys should all check it out. They do have a Facebook and an Instagram. You should go follow them and go check out more of their content and go buy Genecy's Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, because this is too good to miss.